Throne of Seal Episode 128. Dare to read the 4 letters of the white flower. Speaking of Zhen Nanguan, the number of priests continued to decrease. Priests below level 7 retreated into the city to tend to the wounded, leaving only those above level 7 on the city walls for support. However, there was an exception. Disciplined priest Sima Qian, from the number 64 Demon Hunter Corps. After returning to Zhen Nanguan, Sima Qian was selected by the priest temple. Having learned the skills of a disciplined priest, he returned to the battlefield. The priest temple used him as a model to train combat priests. Sima Qian amazed everyone during his first battle. His light power pill was immensely powerful, and his strength made the high ranks of the priest temple recognize the potential of disciplined priests. After trying the forest fragment body pill, his external spiritual power surged, allowing him to break through to level 7 and defeat numerous mid- and low-level demons. During another demon charge, a female mage approached Sima Qian for assistance. He prepared for the battle, his light attribute spiritual power radiating with dominance. The female mage, initially confident in her fire magic, soon came to appreciate Sima Qian's superior strength and cooperated with him many times. Fighting alongside him gave her a sense of security. As the demon army charged, dual-blade demons at the front were treated as cannon fodder by human warriors. Dozens of them climbed the city walls, but Sima Qian charged at them with brute force, fighting barehanded, relying on his strong external spiritual defense to prevent their advance. Soon, stronger demon soldiers, including mad demons and Qin demons, approached. A level 6 demon commander leaped onto the city wall, only to have his chest shattered by one strike from Sima Qian's light power pill. Sima Qian adapted his combat style to conserve spiritual energy, allowing him to endure longer in battle. Meanwhile, the female mage's chain fireballs tore through groups of dual-blade demons. As Sima Qian recalled the moment of departure, a roar echoed. A bear demon lord, over 3 meters tall with dark silver fur, smashed through the city defenses, locking its menacing aura onto Sima Qian. It raised its massive mace, sending a foul wind that terrified the female mage. Yet Sima Qian faced the demon without fear. Light elements erupted from him, his right arm becoming transparent like the knight's light amplification skill. His body swelled, muscles expanding, and the surrounding spiritual energy turned red gold as his aura surged. The bear demon lord swung its massive mace with tremendous force. Just as the mace was about to collide with Sima Qian's light power pill, he sidestepped, exposing the female mage to danger. Panicked, she thought she would be struck, but just before the mace hit the ground, Sima Qian's light power pill fiercely struck the mace, deflecting it and causing the bear demon lord to lose balance. Sima Qian struck again, shattering the demon's grip on the mace. Despite the bear demon lord's attempt to counter, it didn't notice the glint in Sima Qian's eyes. Upon impact, the mace was deflected once more, sending the bear demon lord stumbling back, its upper body spinning 45 degrees to the side. Despite its strength, Sima Qian's skill and power proved formidable in the battle. Although Sima Qian was using force against force with the various effects of the light power pill, he did not lose out in terms of strength. The light power pill spun down from above and smashed upward toward the bear demon lord's chin. With the demon's external spiritual power exceeding 30,000, a hit to the chin would have shattered his head like a rotten watermelon. In a furious reaction, the bear demon lord dropped his mace and used both palms to strike the light power pill. Without his weapon, the bear demon lord was like a beast without claws, but his brute strength was terrifying. His dark silver fur-covered palms released a dark aura and fiercely collided with the light power pill. A loud bang followed as golden light exploded, purple lightning crackled, and a burnt smell filled the air. The bear demon lord's palms were blasted upwards, preventing him from using his right leg to kick the mace towards Sima Qian. Sima's strike, imbued with holy light burst, explosive shattering, absorption, crushing, and a triple explosion, along with his berserk external spiritual power and the violet divine thunder Linglu, seemed like a simple blow, but consumed almost a third of his spiritual power. After the bear demon lord's palms were blasted upward, his chest was exposed. Sima Qian, absorbing the power of the light power pill, leaped and slammed both his fists onto it with all his might. His palms turned a crystalline white, bursting with Holy Spirit power. Under the full force of the strike, the light power pill collided with the demon lord's chest, releasing 9 streaks of purple light that blasted into his body. The heavy blow sent the bear demon lord flying, though his defense was still terrifying. Despite blood streaming from his nose and mouth, his chest bones remained unbroken. Sima Qian wasn't willing to let the bear demon lord escape the battlefield so easily. He pulled the chains to drag the demon back, kicking the light power pill to send him soaring once again. Sima swung the pill once more, aiming for the demon's head. Although the bear demon lord regained some mobility, he was severely wounded. Confused by his own helplessness against Sima Qian, the demon lord did not know how much effort Sima had put into increasing his strength. Every member of the number 64 Demon Hunter Corps had learned ancient martial techniques, allowing them to unleash their full strength in critical moments. Though the bear demon lord had formidable defense and far more spiritual power than Sima Qian, his cumbersome body made him unsuited for one-on-one combat. Faced with a life-or-death threat, the bear demon lord let out a fearsome roar, his entire body bristling with fur. A massive shadow manifested behind him, revealing the mighty power unique to bear demon lords. Thick black energy engulfed his arms, and with all his strength he struck down to meet Sima's incoming light power pill. Despite his fear and desire to escape, the demon could not avoid the confrontation. The light power pill struck his back, tearing through his muscles and sending him crashing to the ground. At that moment, a massive fireball exploded toward him. The bear demon lord, frustrated and weakened, knew that had he been at full strength, such a fireball would have posed no threat. However, in his injured state, all he could do was raise his arms to block. Though his body had great resistance, the fireball hit him directly. Blood spurted wildly from the wound on the bear demon lord's chest, and with a final roar, his massive body fell, crashing hard onto the walls of Zhen Nanguan. His screams gradually grew weaker until silence consumed him. Unbeknownst to many, Sima Qian had circled behind the demon and used Wang Yuanyuan's scaled-down version of the Bloodstorm weapon, a blood dagger, to pierce the demon's central nervous system at the back of his neck, delivering a final, fatal blow. Exhausted, Sima Qian sat atop the bear demon lord's corpse, gasping for breath. He quickly dug out the demon core and stored it in his spirit reservoir. The female mage, noticing his exhaustion, handed him a bottle of medicine, which Sima gratefully accepted, complaining about the bear demon lord's resilience. The mage, frustrated by her own lack of contribution, said she couldn't help much. Sima Qian reassured her, comforting her as he pushed the demon lord's body aside and picked up the massive mace, planning to have an alchemy master modify it for his use. Once reinforcements arrived, Sima Qian retreated to rest beside the mage. She handed him a water pouch, which he drank from, noticing a fragrant scent. The mage boldly revealed it was hers, even teasingly suggesting they have a wild adventure together. Embarrassed, Sima thought she might have a fever, but the mage, undeterred, proclaimed she was perfectly fine and even disclosed she was a virgin. Not caring if Sima had other women, when Sima Qian politely refused, the female mage, angry, tried to leave, but was startled when Sima tackled her to the ground. An invisible Dakir tribesman had ambushed Sima, leaving a deep, bone-exposing wound on his back. Panicked, the mage held Sima's head, worried as blood dripped from his mouth, but Sima assured her the strike had missed any vital organs. Just then, a beam of golden light descended from the sky, healing Sima. Grateful but weakened, Sima was caught off guard as the mage fiercely kissed him, her sudden passion overwhelming him. In that moment, Sima's thoughts drifted to his lover, Fengling. The kiss was brief but intense, and afterward, the mage declared she was committed to him, whether he liked it or not. Sima firmly told her his heart already belonged to someone else, but the mage merely scoffed, saying she only wanted his body, not his personality. Taken aback, Sima didn't know how to respond. Noticing the seriousness in his eyes, the female mage quieted down, eventually apologizing softly and leaning against him for comfort. Sima gently embraced her, assuring her that everything would be okay. The mage then asked, if Sima's lover ever left him, would she be enough for him? Sima didn't reply but instead pulled out several scrolls, his expression softening. Seeing his softened expression, the mage realized she could never win his heart. Sima carefully opened the 4 well-preserved scrolls. The first letter read, "You jerk. You know I hate it when you call me little white flower, yet you still do. I hate you, you bald-headed fool. But if you really dare die on the front lines, I'll hate you forever. You must come back alive, no matter how long it takes, and write me back. If I don't get a letter from you in 3 months, I'll marry someone else immediately, so you won't even have peace after death." Sima Qian remembered how this letter had given him immense strength and courage in his darkest moments. Without these 4 scrolls, his will to survive might not have been as strong. Sima Qian reflected on how he might not have successfully broken through without the 4 letters. The second letter read, "As long as you're alive, there's hope." This came in response to Sima's inquiry in his reply to Fengling and others, asking if she had fallen in love with him, and if there was a chance for them. The third letter asked, "Do you think I'm too fierce? If you're not afraid of me hitting or scolding you, then bring some food to see me after the holy war is over. If you had to choose between me and your demon hunter corp, who would you choose?" After receiving this letter, Sima Qian was conflicted for a long time and fought more fiercely on the battlefield than ever before. In his reply to Fengling, he only wrote 3 words, "Demon Hunter Corps." The 4th letter read, "I realize that I've truly started to like you, because I like men with persistence. Keep training those muscles of yours and don't go around flirting with others. Maybe I'll come see you in a few days, as long as you're still alive. I'll give you a chance." These letters provided Sima Qian with strength and purpose, driving him to continue surviving the harsh realities of war. Meanwhile, at the assassin temple of Kumo Pass, Sire, wielding her massive scythe, staggered after being struck by a flash of cold light, dropping her weapon and collapsing onto the ground. Sheng Yue, who had attacked her, praised her for lasting half an hour under his assault, acknowledging her exceptional combat skills, but noted that she still lacked the essential trait of an assassin, killing intent. Sire playfully complained about Sheng Yue being too serious, and when she asked how she could develop killing intent, Sheng Yue explained that it comes from within and is cultivated from a young age. He added that it erupts from silence, delivering a fatal blow in an instant. Sire lamented that Sheng Yue wouldn't let her go to the battlefield to cultivate this intent. Sheng Yue confessed that while he had once hardened his heart to send her out for training, he could no longer bear to see her return to her former bloodthirsty self, wishing instead for her happiness. However, Sire, as the Holy Maiden of Reincarnation, declared that she had a mission to help Long Haochen, and complained that he hadn't visited her in a year. Sheng Yue reassured her that Long Haochen had heavy responsibilities, and that if she wanted him to be well, she needed to be a supportive partner. Sire's strength had recovered, her internal spiritual power exceeding 20,000, nearing level 8. Determined to help Long Haochen, Sire vowed to use the Reaper's scythe to compensate for her lack of killing intent. Sheng Yue promised to stay by her side and asked if she was willing. Sire immediately agreed. At Yulong Pass in the Night Temple, Long Haochen emerged from the illusionary realm, rejuvenated and feeling like a new person. Surrounded by gentle light elements, he had changed greatly, taller, with broader shoulders, and a sense of harmony and peace radiating from him. His features appeared sculpted by the heavens, and his golden hair draped over his cheeks, concealing his handsome, light-filled face. His majestic figure exuded immovable stability, and his golden, crystal-like eyes sparkled with a gentle gaze, though a hint of coldness occasionally flickered through. Long Haochen stretched his arms, took a deep breath, and smiled gently, thinking to himself, "I'm back." At that moment, a knight in silver-plated battle armor appeared, saluted him, and led him back to his old room, informing him that the temple master would summon him soon. As Long Haochen sat on his bed, returning to reality after a long period of cultivation, he took in the warmth of the room, though the bed was not soft. Soon, hurried footsteps echoed outside, and the door burst open as Bai Yue rushed in, embracing him tightly with tears of joy. Long Haochen returned her hug, feeling the warmth and love of his mother. Bai Yue expressed how deeply she had missed her son, and Long Haochen gently used his light element powers to comfort her. During their conversation, Long Haochen mentioned his desire to stay at Yulong Pass with his mother, though he knew deep down that his duties wouldn't allow it. At that moment, Yang Haohan entered and gently stopped Long Haochen from leaving, granting him 10 days of rest to spend with his mother. Long Haochen didn't refuse, cherishing the opportunity to make the most of those 10 days with her. He told Baiyu about Sire and asked Yang Haohan if she could be brought over. Yang Haohan responded that everything would be discussed after the 10 days, as the alliance had plans for them. For those 10 days, Baiyu took care of Long Haochen, cooking for him, massaging him, and chatting with him. Though she was reluctant to let him go, she understood her son's responsibilities and encouraged him to fulfill his duties. After the 10 days, Long Haochen bid his mother farewell with a heavy heart, knowing the weight of his responsibilities. After meeting with Yang Haohan, Long Haochen's resolve strengthened and he inquired about the reformation of Demon Hunter Group, number 64. Yang Haohan recounted Sheng Yue's previous words, noting that they now had the prerequisites for reformation but needed to prove to the alliance that they had the ability to protect themselves. Though Long Haochen hid his excitement, he was thrilled at the prospect of reforming the group. He expressed his desire to take on missions behind enemy lines, believing that by destroying the demon pillars, they could severely weaken the demons and ultimately win the war. Yang Haohan acknowledged the plan, but advised that the alliance wanted them to reach level 9 before engaging in real combat. However, he added that the Holy War could not wait much longer. He explained that for the past year and a half, the Holy War had been like a meat grinder, consuming most of the alliance's resources. Despite eliminating many demon forces, the losses were severe. While the 6 major strongholds had not fallen, the demon army continued to press forward, and the most powerful clans had yet to join the battle. The alliance now needed powerful warriors to infiltrate behind enemy lines, but the demons were tightening their defenses around the demon pillars. Yang Haohan questioned whether Long Haochen and his group could truly face the demon gods with their current strength, emphasizing that this was a matter of power, not just confidence. The alliance required Long Haochen to prove his strength before allowing the reformation of his group. According to Demon Hunter rules, Long Haochen would need to conceal his identity, refrain from using his magical beast companions, and earn 10 million merit points through battlefield kills before reformation could be permitted. Long Haochen was shocked by the immense requirement, realizing that it would take a significant amount of time to achieve, and he felt that the alliance couldn't wait that long. Yang Haohan informed him that he would arrange for Long Haochen to return to the Knight's Sacred Mountain to select a steed, and only after passing the Mithril Knight's test would he be eligible to enter the battlefield. Although Long Haochen considered the 10 million merit points a daunting challenge, after some reflection, he accepted the task. Just as Yang Haohan smiled in response, Long Haochen boldly requested to take the Crystalline Knight's test directly, eager to prove his worth. Long Haochen boldly expressed his desire to inherit one of the legendary crystalline base armors, surprising Yang Haohan, who immediately asked if Long Haochen had managed to break through to the necessary level. When Long Haochen confirmed this, Yang Haohan reminded him that there were only 36 crystalline base knights in the entire temple. Though several crystalline base armors existed, in order to obtain one, Long Haochen would need to defeat an equivalent crystalline base knight. Yang Haohan emphasized that these knights' strength was close to level 9, and during the assessment, they would not hold back. They would fight with all their might. He asked Long Haochen if he was certain about challenging such formidable opponents. Taking a deep breath and reflecting on the gravity of the task, Long Haochen seriously confirmed his decision, fully committed to the challenge ahead.